burns at night, flames billowing high. This is where she makes her realm. Best to not go nigh. Fire scorching the earth, lighting up the sky. When Her Highness sets her eyes on you, it's time to say goodbye.
Ladies and gents, boys and girls, Douglas and Diggets, monster hunters and monster honeys alike, today we're going to fight essentially the monster in Monster Hunter, the Rathian. Now, the Rathian is old. She's old. She's the queen of the land. Her boyfriend is the Rathalos, who is the flagship monster of the entire series. They've both been in every single Monster Hunter game to date. Their place is always going to be there. They're always going to have a position in the game. She's just that wyvern, you know what I mean? Like, once you beat the Rathian, you can for sure call yourself a monster hunter. That's how I feel. I always feel like the Rathian is the litmus test for that. There are other monsters out there. There are harder monsters out there, but the Rathian is the one where, like, okay, I have finally beat this monster. Where am I in the grand scheme of things? Well, now you're officially a full-on monster hunter, because the Rathian is basically like, is basically that. You've done all this other stuff up until this point, hoping to actually be a monster hunter. You beat the Rathian, or you get to the Rathian, you're a monster hunter. So, with all that madness out the way, all this, you know, clout talk or whatever, let's actually talk about the Rathian and what it takes to actually put the Rathian under. So, the Rathian is essentially the baseline wyvern. Most monsters actually get a lot of their mechanics from the Rathian. Others who don't, they kind of wish, you know. Well, if you are a wyvern, a flying wyvern, and you don't share a number of characteristics that the Rathian actually has, then you're a specialized wyvern. So let's actually talk about what the Rathian can do. So the Rathian, most notably, 100% most notably, has a tail flip. This tail flip is a poisonous tail flip. If hit with the tail flip, it's actually, I think, its strongest attack. And then if you get hit with it, you will be succumbed to poison. Now, the poison isn't the biggest issue. The big issue is the fact that the Rathian itself can do a number of attacks in the air. I think two. I think a total of 2 actual attacks in the air. If the first one is the tail flip, it can actually tail flip again. Now, one thing to note when it comes to the air combat that the Rathian can provide, they did change it slightly. Now it can only do 2 actions in the air. The first action being not the initial tail flip, but the swooping attack that it will sometimes do. So it'll actually tail flip, do a little swoop, and then tail flip again. That's all it can actually do in the air. There was some weird shenanigans where it could tail flip, tail flip, tail flip. Straight up. 3 tail flips in a row. The most ridiculous thing in the entire universe. But they don't do that no more. So the tail flip is something you should really watch out for. It's highly televised, though. You can kind of see when it's going to happen. It usually does it off of big attacks, like if you're immobilized, if you're stunned or something like that. It also do it as like an entryway to other attacks. So you should be able to see it coming. I get hit with it a couple times because I'm stupid. I'm going for really cheeky stuff. You can see it take a couple of steps back. That really lets you know that it's about to come down with the funky stuff. But outside of that, you should be okay. Now, the other attacks it has are fireballs. These fireballs, it does them in 2 different ways, I believe. Usually one fireball straight away, and then another set of fireballs in a fan motion. 1 to the left, 1 to the right, 1 down the middle. I'm not gonna lie to you, everything else it actually does, it has this not really that much of a threat. Those are the real threat worthy things to be really known for. Once you get into high rank and the like, it will actually unveil more attacks. I'm almost certain of, if not, then I'm actually really mad that they probably nerfed the monster in and of itself. But it will do a particular blast where it's like a huge fire blast at the front of its face, which is, this had that attack forever. So I'm just going to assume it's actually in this game as well, where it'll like take a deep breath and shoot a huge like blast of fire on the ground right in front of you. You don't want to be stuck there. The range on it's pretty decent. And it doesn't hurt incredibly. Actually, it hurts. It hurts pretty bad. I am wearing fire, like heavily smacketh armor. So fire can heavily smacketh me. Don't do what I did. I told you guys in the last video not to wear this armor to come do this fight, but here I am doing the thing I said you shouldn't do. Don't listen to what I do, listen to what I say. Bingo. Alright, now, that out the way, what else can we say about the Raytheon before this fight wraps up? Because I've been fighting the Raytheon for like 1,000 years. It has nothing new to me. It didn't actually change any of its attacks, so it's all the same new thing, so I don't have to really worry about too much. Just understand that it's actually not a super hard weapon. It may take you a time or two because it hits pretty hard. There's a couple of things that's probably going to catch you off guard. The tail flip is probably going to do you in a couple of times. The fireballs may do you in a couple of times, but I have faith in you guys. You should be able to actually take care of this thing. If you can take care of the Barioth, you can take care of this monster. It is slightly easier than what it used to be, but at the end of the day, it's still a Rathian, so there's still a lot of things you have to watch out for because it can and very well could like lay you flat. So with that said, let's take a look at the gear. So here we are with the Raytheon Armor. It's actually weird. I'm not going to hold you guys as weird. First skill is Blight Resistance. What it does is it grants protection against all elemental blights. Now at stage 2, it reduces the elemental blights by 75%. So let's say you get hit with Fire Blight, and until you roll 3 times or you let it like wear off, the wear off time, let's say it wears off in about a minute. It reduces that by 75%, make it to where, let's say it wears off in like 15 seconds or something like that. I don't know the math. You should know this by now. I'm making these numbers up, but you get the drift. It was long, now it's short. But at level 3, it negates all elemental blights. Granted, you will still get hit with those elemental smacks. Just because you have negative 500 fire doesn't mean that with blight resistance, you're not going to get smacked with some fire, because you are basically kindling. Moving over, we have recovery up 2. Increase the amount recovered when using the potions and the like. So let's say you take a potion. With level 2, you should probably get Dagnum near right there by the Mega Potion variety. So if you take a potion, that potion essentially becomes a Mega Potion, and the Mega Potion will probably heal you full health, almost like the Max Potion kind of range. That's kind of cool. But then the rest of these skills really start to taper off. You got Wide Range 1 and Free Meal 1. I think we talked about this already. I think it was literally a set with these 3 skills on it already that we talked about. That's why this set doesn't make any sense. Raytheon was never like this, but that's what it is. It's a wide range healing thing with more, like, I don't know. The skills are weird. Would I wear this armor set? No, I wouldn't. I would not recommend this armor set. It's just not very good. The weapons are a different case. Now I'm going to break something that I said I wouldn't do. For those who don't like spoilers, this is your time to look. You can listen to my voice. Do not look at the footage, okay? Don't look at the footage. Listen to my voice. Spoilers are coming. 3, 2, 1. Okay, so its weapons are actually pretty varied. It actually has poison and it has fire. So I am using the poison gun lance. It has 100 attack, a relatively good, a good chunk of green sharpness, and 18 on the poison. Now that's one particular weapon. It has other weapons, I believe, that have I think it has fire on some. Its hunting horn is fire. So some of his weapons are poison, some of his weapons are fire. Something to note about. Now, for example, the hunting horn has a 100 attack, a decent amount of green sharpness, and 16 fire. Some of his weapons are like this. Some of his weapons will have the poison and will have the fire. It really depends on whichever one it actually is. I believe the sword and shield is poison. I believe the dual blades is fire. I believe it has a long sword that's also poison, I believe. But I think in some cases it could be fire, or am I thinking the Rathalos variant? But it depends. Yes, it's actually poison. It's longsword is poison, so it really depends. Some are poison, some are fire. It's just something to look out for. Whichever one you actually have, your main weapon that is, take a look out for it. See if you want poison, if you want the fire. So with all that said, let's wrap it up nice and tight for you. The Raytheon, wow, that was shout out to my man Valiant. The Rathian, whatever you want to call it, is actually one of the flagship monsters of the series. And truth be told, if you're able to actually do very well against this monster, you can officially call yourself a monster hunter, because most monsters take a lot of things from this monster. All in all, you're gonna need some electricity. Bring some thunder when you go to fight them. Them Kezu weapons we was using before, bring them back. Yes, bring those Kezu weapons back, because you probably don't have dragon yet, because his biggest weakness is dragon. But thunder is what we're going to be using for the time being. Hit in the head, or even on the tail, if I'm not mistaken. The head and the tail are weak spots, but the head is this more notable weak spot. You're probably going to be able to get to it a lot easier. It's just going to be a really hard thing to do in some cases because, I mean, it's the head. That's where the fire comes from. So you have to watch out for that. Yeah. You guys should be able to do okay. The weapons, I would make the weapons. I would for sure make the weapons. I would not make the armor because it's just, honestly, in my opinion, not that great. I wouldn't call home about it. It's just eh. It's honestly eh. But the best way to actually combat the Raytheon, though, while we're actually out here talking about it, is to bring flash pods. I didn't discuss this earlier when I was talking about its attacks and it being in the air. It tail flips a lot in this game. I mean, a lot in this game. So that means it's going to be in the air a lot. So if you bring yourself some flash bombs, as well as take the free ones that they give you in the box, whenever it tail flips and you're free, throw it, it'll fall, it'll hit the ground, and you can smack it up for free. But with that said, everyone, it's been your man, Stack908, aka the Dig Dug himself. The Rathian isn't too difficult in this game. You guys should be very comfortable in fighting monsters now, and this will be a very good monster to get, you know, your rocks off to. Use it as a punching bag, if you will, to really get a better feel for the game, because a lot of it's actually going to come from this monster and the way it actually moves and works and things like that. But with that said, everyone, of course, the Discord is always open for you if you want to come through and hang out with your man's home with the people, make a whole bunch of new friends, because that's what we do around here. Also, the Twitter. Please follow me on Twitter. I'm very lonely. I want people to talk to on Twitter because, I don't know, like, it makes you feel good on the inside. So if you have a Twitter and you want to just follow a really cool Monster Hunter kind of guy, my name is Stack908, aka the Dig Dug himself, and I have a Twitter account. I'm begging. Not really, or am I? Haha. With that said, everyone, it's been your boy Stack908 nevertheless, and may the desire center forever be in your favor. Let me know what you think about the Raytheon. I think it actually sucks in this game, but let me know. It's been your boy. Take care.